All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are talking about one of the most important reading skills there is, fluency. We're going to break down step by step how you can build that super important bridge from just saying the words on a page to actually understanding the story. So let's get to it. You've seen this happen, right? It's a puzzle every teacher and parent has faced. A child reads a whole passage out loud, they don't miss a single word, but then you ask them, hey, what was that about? And they just give you a blank stare. That is a classic sign that a key piece is missing in their reading journey. You know, one of the biggest hurdles we have to get over is this idea that good reading is just fast reading. Kids think they have to race through the text, but that just leads to skipping words and reading in this flat, monotone voice. The real goal isn't speed at all. It's fluency, which means finding that perfect, just right pace, getting the words right, and, of course, reading with some real feeling. And that's our big idea today, fluency. I want you to think of it like a bridge. On one side of the river, you have decoding, that's just sounding out the words. And way over on the other side, you have comprehension, that's actually getting the story. Well, fluency is the bridge that connects them. Without that bridge, the meaning just gets completely lost along the way. So, how do we build this fluency bridge? Well, it stands on four really strong pillars. Pillar number one is accuracy. This is about reading the words on the page exactly as they're written. But, and this is the important part, it's about more than just getting it right the first time. The real skill is self-correction. A great reader notices when something sounds off, and they go back to fix it. That's when you know they're really thinking about the meaning. Okay, next up, we've got pillar number two, pacing. This is all about finding that Goldilocks speed. Not too fast, not too slow, but just right. We're aiming for a comfortable conversational rhythm. You know, the difference between just reading a shopping list and actually telling someone a great story. This question gets right to the heart of it. I love to ask my students this. Are you reading like a robot? You know, one word at a time? It's so choppy, right? Or are you reading like a storyteller? A storyteller makes the words flow together, and they pull you right into the story. That's what we're aiming for. Our third pillar is expression. And honestly, this is where the real magic starts to happen. Expression, sometimes you'll hear it called prosody, is all about using your voice to bring the story to life. If a character is whispering, your voice gets quiet. If the scene is super exciting, your voice should show it. This is what makes a story interesting to listen to. And that brings us to our final pillar, punctuation. It's amazing how many young readers just read right over these little marks on the page. We have to teach them that these aren't just little decorations. They are actual signals, direct messages from the author telling your voice exactly what to do. And this is my absolute favorite way to teach it. Punctuation marks are basically traffic signs for your reading voice. A period, that's a full stop sign. A comma, that's a yield sign, just a little pause. An exclamation point, that means step on the gas with some excitement. As soon as kids learn to follow these signs, their reading just sounds so much more natural. Okay, so we know the four pillars. That's the what. But how do we actually teach this in a way that sticks? The answer is a super simple but incredibly powerful routine called the 3-read method. Here's how it works. It's brilliant because it breaks down this big, complex skill into small, manageable chunks. The very first time a student reads a passage, they have one job and one job only: focus on accuracy. The second time, we shift focus to smoothing things out, improving their pacing. And finally, that third read is the big performance. It is all about expression. So let's imagine we're using this text, The Lost Puppy. On that first read, the only goal is to get the words right. And here's a great tip. I'll even model making a mistake on purpose. I'll read a word wrong and then say, wait a minute, that didn't sound right. Let me try that again. Showing them that fixing your own mistakes is a normal part of reading is so powerful. All right, now we're on to the second read of that same passage. The student already knows all the words, right? So their brain is now freed up to focus on a new skill, pacing. We're not trying to be a speed reader here. The goal is just to connect the words more smoothly, to get away from that choppy robot reading. And now for the third read,
This is the payoff. This is the performance read. Now that they're comfortable with the words and the pacing is better, they can finally put all their energy into expression. How did the characters sound when they were sad? Did their voice change when they were excited? This is where your student really becomes a storyteller.
But what if you have a student who's just really stuck in that word-by-word robot reading? Well, I have a fantastic little strategy that works like magic for this. It's called phrase scooping. So phrase scooping is just what it sounds like. We teach students to see words in small, meaningful groups or phrases and read them together instead of one at a time. It works because, well, that's how our brains naturally process language anyway. We speak in phrases, so we should read in phrases too. It just makes everything easier to understand.
And here is a super fun way to explain it to kids. Reading shouldn't feel like picking up sprinkles one by one by one. It should feel like taking a big scoop of ice cream that has all the sprinkles in it. We want them to scoop up a whole group of words at once. So instead of reading, Max was a, you teach the student to see it in chunks and read it like this. Max was a small brown puppy with a white spot on his back. You can literally take a pencil and draw these little scoops under the words on the paper. For some kids, this is a total game changer. You know, maybe the best part of this whole system is that it's not just about feeling like you're getting better. It gives students cold, hard proof that their work is actually paying off. So take a look at this My Reading Log part of the worksheet. After each of the 3 reads, the student writes down their time and how many mistakes they made. Now, the key here is that this is not about pressure. This is about empowerment. They get to see their own data, and they see for themselves how they get faster and more accurate each time. And then they can take that data and put it on a progress tracker, just like this one. They get to physically graph their times and watch that line go down with every read and every new story. Imagine being a kid and seeing that visual proof of your own hard work. It's incredibly motivating and really gives them ownership over their learning. Because when you boil it all down, everything we've talked about, the pillars, the 3 reads, phrase scooping, it's all working towards one big transformation. We want to move our students from being simple word callers, just decoding sounds on a page, to becoming confident, engaging storytellers who can share meaning with the world. And in the end, that's what reading is really all about, isn't it? Understanding, connecting, and sharing our stories. So the question for you is, how are you going to use these tools to empower your students to find their voice?